I got it.
Okay, good, because I couldn't
Okay.
find it.
Okay. No worries. So if you go to discoveryeducation.com, here is the home screen that you're going to see. If you've used it before, then you can go ahead and log in and you can follow along with me. If you have not used Discovery Education before, if you're interested in the free services they're asking, if you scroll down, there's an update, our comprehensive response to the worldwide coronavirus outbreak. You go to read more. That will give you information on how Discovery Education is responding to the outbreak and what they're providing for you. So towards the end here, you can see that if your school is experiencing closures, they're offering free access, and there is an experience access request form that you can use, and then they can get you set up in there for free. And you can start using these resources for free through the end of the school year, which is awesome. So awesome that they're doing that. So I wanted to show you how to get to that. So just discoveryeducation.com, read more on their comprehensive response. In item 3 down there, we'll have the experience access request form for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna log into Discovery Education. If you already have an account, feel free to log in and follow along with me. There are some districts that have single sign-on set up. So maybe if you've heard that your district has Discovery Education and you haven't quite used it yet, you might have single sign-on set up for you. You can sign in with Google down here, sign in with Microsoft, so you might give that a shot if you use a Google account. They may have given you a passcode to use once before. You can use passcode right here, create a new user and create your new account. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you probably need to fill out that user experience form and get your district using this and using these, utilizing these awesome resources available to you. Okay, so this is the Discovery homepage. When you first log in, this is what you see. This is your Discovery experience. This is set up for you, how it's gonna work best for your classroom. You get to control the way this looks. Right away you see on mine, Discovery has added a viruses and outbreaks section. So Discovery already has resources for you to cover the virus and the outbreak with your students. Your students may have a lot of questions, and this may be something that you want to cover with your students. Get the elephant out of the room. Go ahead and talk about it. They've got resources for K through 5, 6 through 8, 9 through 12, so you can find age-appropriate materials about the virus. And then you can scroll down and see all the different types of activities they have. So let's talk about that first. Let's talk about the types of materials you can get in Discovery Education. So if you look at the top, you have at the beginning, Discover, Teach, and Grow. This is Discover First in the blue. You've got trending, by subject, by standard. So Discovery Education materials are aligned to Texas standards, to the TEKS. So we can stay on TEKS using this stuff, which is awesome. A trick Christy showed me that I like to do is open the search bar. So you go up into the right-hand corner, open the search bar, don't put anything in the search bar and hit search. And then that'll pull up all these results. So everything that's going on in Discovery Education. I know that I like to do that when I first get on Discovery Education if I'm trying to find out ideas. If I want to explore what's out there, if I want to explore what's going on, I can come here first and then start filtering out my results. So we've got channels, videos, images, text, studio boards, which I'll talk about a little bit later. You can filter it by K through 12, 3 through 5, 6 through 8, and 9 through 12. I just turned all of those on, so I've got everything going on up here. You can see stuff that has closed captions. So I know we have the Deaf Ed School here, so we can do closed captions here. You can edit some of the sources. You can find quizzes. You can change the publishers, all sorts of stuff for you to do. Here's what Discovery Education has done for you though. You still are kind of stuck at where do I begin? How do I start? Discovery Education has this channel called Instructional Inspiration. So I noticed when I logged into Discovery Education, this was already added to my homepage. So I hope that when you log in, it's added to your homepage as well. If not, you can search for Instructional Inspiration. And it is a channel. So what a channel is it's a collection of information. I can subscribe and unsubscribe to channels over here. So I am subscribed to the Instructional Inspiration channel. Okay, so what this channel is, it's a whole bunch of pre-made stuff for you. It's pre-made lessons, it's pre-made studio boards, it's video segments ready to go. Spotlight on strategies is a really, really cool thing. It is strategies that you can use in your classroom. There are over 100, they're creative, they're research-based. A lot of them can be used remotely now. So a lot of these strategies, even though they're face-to-face, you can take them and utilize them remotely. A lot of them is asking questions. So, you know, AEIOU is asking questions. Give me an adjective, something you're excited about, things like that. They can answer that remotely. That's a good question to ask your kids and to kind of get a pulse check on where everyone is. The studio boards. So Studio is a collaboration tool. It is a place where, think of it as kind of, I think of like a science fair big poster board that everyone's working on together. You can add in this information. You can add in video segments, activities, participation. I'm not going to go over how to create studio boards and doing studio boards today. That's a lot of information that might be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you're not able to be in Discovery Education quite yet, if you're still requesting access. But what you can do, and what I wanted to show you, is that every studio board you come across, you can make a copy and put it in your own classroom. So in the top right-hand corner, you've got to create a copy section. You can create the copy, and then now it's in your studio boards for you to edit how you want. So that is something that may interest you now. Again, if there's a lot of interest and a lot of questions, we might do a session over how actually doing studio boards and putting those together and sharing them with your students and things like that. Okay? All right, let's go back to the Discovery homepage. So we talked about the types of resources that are available. Let's talk a little bit more about those things. So we have videos, we have virtual field trips. So that's something I didn't talk about earlier. Virtual field trips are partnerships that they have with third-party companies to put stuff together for these virtual learning experiences. So right here off the bat, we've got some for the NFL and AHA. There's a 3M Young Scientist Challenge event. Let's see, Shakespeare 400 field trip, Lincoln's Legacy, Ford's Theater virtual field trip. These could be fun activities that you do with your students. You know, we may be in this for weeks, and you may start to run out of little things, and these virtual field trips will be amazing, enriching experiences for your students. So going back to my homepage, to get to my homepage, I just keep clicking the Discovery icon. That's the easiest way for me. If I click around a lot, sometimes I get lost. I can just click my Discovery icon and get back to where I need to be. You can also filter stuff by subject. So right here, you can see the subject areas that they've got stuff separated into. We've got science, social studies, English language arts, mathematics, health. We have careers and workplace skills, so we can still work on career readiness, visual and performing arts, and world languages. So this isn't just core subject stuff. This is the extracurricular stuff that we obviously don't always have access to. I know there's probably a lot of teachers that teach CTE classes. They're trying to figure out how they're going to work with their students. Maybe your class is a hands-on class. What are you going to do now? There's resources in here for those subjects, things that the students can do online. To look at standards, so if you want to go by standards, you can come in and just click through here. You can choose your state. So we're all in Texas, so it's already going to be selected for us. But you can come and choose your standards document. And when you find it, then it'll have what the standards are. And if they have resources for it, then it'll be highlighted in blue. And it'll take you to a collection of resources that meet that standard. Okay, so let's talk about, we found some material we want. How do we get it to our students? How now am I going to distribute everything to my students? Well, let's take this coronavirus resources. We'll use this full video. Okay, so this one is a full video. Will a mask really protect you from the coronavirus? I want to share this with my students. How do I do that? So there's a couple of ways. If you are using Discovery Education, if you have your account set up and you have students put into your class, which Lori and Christy can answer more questions about that for you, then you can assign stuff to your students from here. You can go to more and have your assignment dates, your due dates, and then they'll have to watch it and they'll be able to find it there. But for those of you, which I know most of you are here, don't have access to Discovery yet. Or I'm sorry, you are going to get new access to Discovery and you may not have students in your class yet. How are you going to get this stuff out to them? So what you can do is you can go to more and you can download everything out of Discovery Experience. Now here's the thing is you'll download this stuff and you'll keep it on your computer, you'll keep it, be able to distribute it in your learning management system or whichever way you use learning management system, but it is contingent upon your partnership with Discovery. So Discovery will be free to educators through the end of the school year, but after the school year is over, you will no longer be able to use those resources freely. So that's just a quick note I wanted to put out there. With digital citizenship, copyright issues, you will be able to download all of this stuff, but only use it as long as your school district has purchased Discovery Education. So you can download, you have low quality and high quality. So some of us are using different internet connections that we're not usually used to using for working. So we can select how much bandwidth we're going to take up pretty much. You can download the closed captions file. So you can have that available to upload into your LMS. Other sources have different ways you can download them. So this image, you can print it. Let me see. Oh, that's the preview. There we go. Here it is. Download right here. Download a small, medium, or large image. So there's a way to download everything in Discovery Education. The activities you will usually need to assign to your student. That's not going to be an easy download thing that you can just send out. These are things that you can print out and send. Okay. We know some school districts are having to stick to handing out packets and stuff. So if your kids are not using the internet to use remote learning at first, you can still use Discovery Education to create packets to send out to your kids. Okay, let me see. Lori, Christy, is there something, trying to make sure I hit everything as quickly as I can.
Yeah, I mean, you covered the copying the studio boards, the network there, the DEN network is teachers that use Discovery, and it's kind of like a personal learning network. And if you go in there, you will see tons, and I know it's so overwhelming, you hear this over and over again, but there really are boards and forums going on, especially, you know, that where people are coming together and getting resources all together. I've seen studio boards of, you know, week by week of lessons that they're going to assign their kids. Oh, is that one thing did you show how to add to a classroom? And one of the things that she might not have mentioned is your tech person can do a CSV file and upload accounts if your students don't have accounts, so that you can actually assign lessons and activities and things to your students. And Christy, feel free to pipe in because I know you are the expert.
Yeah, so just real quick to show you how to get to DEN. Up here, when you get logged in finally, you'll have this kind of navigation at the top. DEN will always be the last one over here. It's called Educator Network. And you'll just click on that and it'll take you to these resources that people are sharing in the chats and things like that. If you do get set up with your school and they get students into a classroom for you, and you can use Discovery Education as kind of a little learning management system, all of that information is in the purple right here. So you can save stuff to My Content. So let's say that this is something that your district says, okay, we're going to get Discovery Education. We're on it. Give us a little bit. You can start going through. And if you find something you like, when you select it, there is a, oh wait, that's a studio board. I'm sorry, that's a bad example. Let's use this image. The studio boards you'll just make a copy of. For everything else, you can, on the side, on the right-hand side, there's add to quick list and add to My Content. So you can start saving information that you plan on sharing later to these two things. So the quick list is up here. This is stuff that you can quickly access. And then My Content is back on your home page. And it's this little folder called My Content. And it's basically just a file system like you would find on your desktop. That you can save stuff in and sort. And when you start using Studio Board later and start assigning stuff to your kids, it'll be nice and organized here for you.
She mentioned briefly doing the search for nothing. Juliana, can you do that again on your screen? Yes. So they can see that? So you just hit this little search bar over here, put your cursor in it, and just hit enter without without typing anything in. And she showed you on the left different things that are available. I really wanted to point out for your English learners, there are several different languages available. You can narrow down by different kinds of languages to see what kind of content is available in those languages. Transcripts are available on most videos. Differentiating your instruction for different types of kiddos. Yes, transcripts and citations are available. You can also, for videos, they're also broken up into segments. So you can assign just a segment of a video as opposed to an entire video. Christy shared in the chat, you can, when you find some content you want to assign, if you have certain LMSs, you can assign that and put that content in your LMS. Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of you are looking for resources beyond the videos, right? We're well known for our videos, but there's so much more. So she was just showing you, if you go into that search box and you press enter, you're going to see the full depth and breadth of everything you have available to you. When you get there, right underneath where it says all services, there's a box that says channels. So right down, just right there behind it. There you go. When you go into channels, we have collected resources, all the different types of resources for you. So we're familiar with the Magic School Bus. We showed you we have viruses and outbreaks. A lot of our teachers and now our new homeschool teachers, as we're dubbing them, are into the virtual field trips. But let's look at, for instance, English language arts over there. So if we pop into our English language arts, look through these resources that have already been curated for you. They are by topic and by grade level. Your grade band is at the top, K5, 6, 8, 9, 12. And then you have those kind of bigger topics, composition, grammar, etc. You can go into those. It's going to take you even further into that. And as you scroll through the resources, you're going to see reading passages, songs, sound effects. Those reading passages are fabulous to send home to our babies that don't have internet, don't have a device. What can I use right now? Those are really, really good places to start, is jumping into those channels and getting those resources that have been curated for you.
Yes, thank you, Christy.
There's a question in the chat about how do you find translations and transcripts? Oh, and how to define the language options again, if you could show that.
Okay, sure. So we'll go back to all. I just have this on the blanket search. You have filters on the left-hand side. So if you scroll down, it's one of the last filter options. Those are the different languages that you can filter by. So we can filter by Spanish. Let's do that. Here's a full video.
Education presents Spotlight on Strategies video prep series, presented by the Den community.
Okay, can y'all still hear me? Okay. Let's see, where are transcripts? So And Christy or Lori, you might be able to answer this better for me. This one does not have a transcript, or am I missing it?
Anything that's in a language other than English is not going to have a transcript
Oh,
that
okay.
goes with it. So watch that Spanish filter on, you won't see that. I will tell you that 99% of our videos that are available in Spanish or another language also have that English counterpart. So if you're working with homes that have, you know, both languages, you might want to send both videos and say, you know, use what works for you and your family. But to quickly find those resources that have that transcript, you can go into the closed captioning right there at the top under your filters, and that's going to give you those videos that have the closed captioning included. So of course you can see the Magic School Bus, and that transcript is over on that far right hand side.
There we go.
Teacher tip, you can search inside that transcript to quickly get where you need to go inside the video, and it's going to automatically advance the video to that space as well.
Another thing I always like to point out in training is most of these have the copyright, not the copyright, but the like the APA formatting, you know what I'm trying to say, that citation.
Citations.
So most of them have that, and so that's one of the things that you can show your kids, that you know they're being responsible with what kind of resources they're sharing in a project that they create for you. And another thing I always like to share is, you know, there's images, there's so much content. So if you're having your students create a project based on something you're wanting them to learn, you know, have them pull that citation, and at least they're using safe content, not something pulled off the internet that might have a copyright restriction on it. Everything, since they have access to Discovery, they're allowed to use. And so I always like to point out the citations, and you know, encouraging the students to use the content that's in Discovery to create their projects.
All right, are there any questions? Any questions about something I didn't cover that you were curious about?
I'm going to jump on some of the questions that are coming in through the chat.
Okay, thank you.
So your students that speak Vietnamese, are you able to copy and paste those transcripts into Google Translate? Absolutely. That is something that we certainly have no issue with at all. Just, of course, always check that Google Translate, make sure it's moving that scholarly vocabulary appropriately. How do I share through Google Classroom? Do they need to create an account? I don't know where you are, Stacy. If you want to private message me or Lori or anyone else at the Region Center, we're happy to double check and see if your students have been uploaded. Again, no cost, very simple to do. We can do that for you. Your technology person can do that. It does not have to be the technology director. We can tell you who in your district can do that. So we can get those accounts created, and then depending on your school district, some of them, like I know Garland, I was trying to see some of the other accounts on here, Plano, you guys have already set that up before all this happened, so you have a portal or My Apps or Schoology or somewhere where they're signing in. For everyone else, they would go to discoveryeducation.com, just like many of our teachers are doing right now, and sign in. They will put my email address back up. You can go back and view the recording. I can absolutely answer those one-off questions for you. Please inundate my inbox with all of your requests. We are here to help. How quickly are we creating accounts? As of Monday evening, within the first couple of hours of having the request line open, we had more than 2,000 requests come in for districts, not people. So we are here to help, but we're not a company of 50,000. We are a local U.S. company. So we're working through them as quickly as we can. I think many of you will be surprised to find out that your leadership is on top of this, and many of you already have accounts. So please, if you are unsure if you have an account, email me and say, hey, Christy, I'm at this independent school district. Do I have an account? And I will respond back and I will say yes or no, or yes, and your username is, or yes, and this is your contact. Let me help you get this account set up. So make that your first stop. Beyond that, we will be working around the clock to get all of those activated as quickly as we can. We are trying our everything to get them done within hours, if not days, but it certainly would not be weeks. When we create a studio board, can we copy and paste the link into our Google Classroom? Absolutely. You will find when you go into Studio that there is a button to share assign or publish. And that publish link will give you a unique URL to that studio board that you can share straight out into Google Classroom for your students. Our district has a subscription. Can we download the Google Slides? I can't speak today. Yes, you absolutely can download. I'm completely pushing this to all of the districts I've been working with directly. Download those resources. Your babies that are looking for resources, download them, put them in a packet, print them out, put them on school issue devices. I know some districts are trying to figure out the logistics of getting devices to kiddos, USBs. Yes, you can do that. What happens when this is over? What happens when this crisis is over? We will send you follow-up communication. If you do not have a subscription, so you choose not to renew through Region 10, then those would need to be destroyed, of course, for copyright purposes. But we're not going to come knocking on your door on July 1st and say, did you destroy everything you downloaded? That's not going to be happening. We understand this is unprecedented times, and we're doing everything we can to help you. Can you put videos in Nearpod 2? I'm going to say yes. I will double check with my team to be sure that's accurate. Lori may know more than I do on the Nearpod front, so feel free to jump in. Or Juliana, if you guys know, but I'm pretty sure the answer is yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you can take an MP4, then you can download as an MP4 and add to Nearpod.
So much knowledge in this room. No problem, guys.
I can't tell y'all how excited I am that Discovery is offering this to you guys. Discovery is one of my favorite things in education, if not my favorite thing in education. It is a great resource. It is a load of information. It is going to be so beneficial to you, whether we're back in the classroom or we're still working remotely. So definitely take advantage of this opportunity if you can.